buckle up and get your typing fingers ready, because I'm going to see more hate comments on this video than any other video I've posted. Today, I am going to be ranking every class in the game, not objectively, but instead purely on my own opinion. And you know how having an opinion goes. If you have ever had an opinion in your entire life, then you should subscribe. 84% of you who watch my channel are not subscribed to me. So if we can change that number by even 1%, then I'd be a happy camper. Thank you. So I have a tier list right here, and this is what we're using. Funnily enough, starting with Dragoon, which I was even using when I just started the video. This is my personal favorite class. I just think that the rotation is fun. It's not that hard. I think it's cool. The weapon is fun. I like being able to jump around. I like the fact that I can accidentally jump off several maps in the game because it's funny when it happens. And this was actually like the third or fourth class that I got to level 90, because I actually used to main a tank, but we'll get into that later. So for now, I'm gonna put Dragoon at S tier. Next up, we got Ninja. This one's growing on me. I don't have it at level 90 yet, but I actually think it's been really fun ever since I've been leveling it. I actually really enjoy all the different combinations that you can do, and I especially really enjoy how fast the global cooldown is when you have whatever the fuck this is called. Overall, this class has just been really fun for me ever since I've actually been learning the right combinations for like what situation I'm in. So yeah, fuck it. I'll put Ninja at S tier as well. I've been loving it. Next up, we have Samurai, and I haven't really messed with this at all recently. I don't even have it at level 60 yet, but I do think it looks really cool. I like the weapon that you use. I like how you run with it. And so far, it feels kind of easy, but I'm still like 30 levels down, so I can't really say that. What I've heard is that right now it's supposed to be the highest damaging DPS, but there's like not that much utility with it. But the problem with that is apparently its damage is not as high as it should be, so it's kind of just useless right now. However, so far I haven't really found it to be the most fun thing in the world. Like, I feel like if I started playing it, I would get really bored of the main combos pretty quickly. Then again, I haven't given it a real chance yet, so I can't rate it that low. So I'll just throw it in B tier. Could go up, could go down. I just need to play with it more. Next, we have Reaper, which was my main class for all of Endwalker. I have a love-hate relationship with this class because I do think it's cool, but I usually don't like classes that have absolutely giga weapons like this one. Like, this thing is huge. Sometimes that's not really my favorite thing. However, the combos are really nice, and it's just something that I got used to because I played it for so long. So I can't really put it anything lower than S tier, but this definitely isn't like my ride or die class. It's just something that I use because it's good and I can. But in terms of raw fun, I might honestly just put it at A tier. I think I like Dragoon and Ninja a little bit more. Next up, another one of the main classes that I use. We got Bard. I don't know why I'm a detective for this one. We're rocking the Beauty and the Beast cosplay now. I leveled this class at a whim because I just really wanted to use a bow, and the rotation for Bard is honestly one of the easiest in my opinions. It's kind of just like button mashing like Hunter in World of Warcraft. In general, I think it's probably one of the easiest classes in the entire game. I think I'm also going to throw this one in A tier because I really do like it, but it's not as good as Dragoon and Ninja for me right now. Now we're getting into the meat of it, because this class, Machinist, was the main DPS that I used for Shadowbringers, which is my favorite expansion. But I feel like I soiled it a little bit because I don't like this class that much at all. I really gave it my strongest shot. I played it all the time throughout Shadowbringers when I wasn't tanking. But bro, the rotation to me just feels a little bit weird. I don't know. I just don't really like it. And I should have assumed with the name being Machinist that you would end up using a bunch of different machines. But I was really hoping that I would just use a ton of different guns. For the most part though, you just use the pistol or you whip out a flamethrower for just one little attack or something like that. I don't know. I was kind of hoping it would be a little bit different than it turned out being. So to me, it was kind of a disappointment, but I completely understand why some people would like it. And again, I just don't really like the rotation that much at all. I feel like I'd end up breaking my mouse after a few months. So in my humble opinion, in my humble experience, even though I didn't max the class out, I'm putting it in C tier. I might even drop it in D tier, but I'll leave it there for now because I didn't max it out and I'm missing a few abilities. So next up we have Dancer, and I know so little about this class to the point where I didn't even recognize the logo and I had to Google it. And sure, I set my keybinds for this class, but I have not used it one single time, and I don't know if I plan on doing it. I just don't like the vibe of it. Like, I don't really feel like using these weapons. I don't feel like dancing. I suck at dancing, so why would I dance? I'm so uninterested in the concept to the point where I haven't even given it a chance. So maybe I should give it a chance, but it might be a while because I have other classes that I want to use before I use this one. So take this with a huge grain of salt. I'm just throwing this in D tier just because I'm not interested in it. If I really decided to play it and I loved it, then I would make like an update video saying, hey guys, I'm wrong. So maybe that'll come eventually. With that being said, again, that is just my opinion, and that is entirely based on the fact that I don't like the concept. I could love the rotation, but for now, I don't really want to do it. Next up, we have Black Mage. This is a class that I randomly decided to get to 90 just because I was like, all right, I'll get a mage to 90 and then never touch it again. I didn't even get the best gear that I could for this class because I just stopped playing it, but I did give it a real chance for a while, and that's not me saying that I don't like it. I actually do like it, but I completely forgot about the rotation, so I'm just pressing random buttons right now. The thing that keeps me away from it a bit is the fact that I'm not really a fan of casters in general in MMOs, so I knew from the start that this wouldn't be like my favorite class, but I do think it looks pretty cool. Like, I like all the buttons that it has. There's a ton of different shit that it has going for it, and I totally see why people like this. And in general, I want to preface that with, I totally understand why anybody could like any class, and while I do really like the aesthetic of this one, this just isn't a class that I would play all the time because of the casting. I'm gonna throw it into like low A tier because I don't feel like it should go any lower than that for me. So next we have Summoner. Why am I a detective again? Here, I'll be a schoolboy for my summoner. Oh, that's perfect. Wait, read the book, bro. Read it. Yeah, read that book. Oh my, what's in there? As you can tell, I don't have summoner leveled up that much at all, but for some reason I really like it. I should probably actually level it before I even give an opinion like that, especially since I'm going to be talking really highly about this class, but I just like the aesthetic to it. And I also like that it's pretty much a caster without as much casting. That's just how it is so far for me. I could be completely wrong about that, but I feel like I have less casting bars as summoner than I do as black mage so far. Also, I'm missing my carbuncle, bruh. How am I missing that? I know that they reworked this class like a year ago, which was the year that I took a break from this game, but I feel like I like it even more now. Besides the fact that your carbuncle doesn't really do what it used to do, because I liked how that was before. At this level, I have like 2 different buttons to use, but I feel like if I leveled this class and I gave it a real chance, I would end up liking it because I generally like the aesthetic to it. It's my favorite caster visually. I do have wishes that it could be a little different in a few ways, like with the whole summoning thing in general. I wish that part was a little bit different, but yeah. I'm gonna put this like right next to black mage, right above it, I guess. Throwing on the blue outfit for red mage. This is another one of those classes where I haven't really given it a real chance. I know there's a lot of those, okay? I don't play this game as much as some other people do. Like, all I've been doing for the past year is just focusing on crafting, and it's actually been going pretty well. But I do kind of like the aesthetic of this class. I think it's interesting, although I don't really know what the heck is flying above my head. The weapons look cool, and the rotation is interesting to me. I don't know if it would be one that would be my absolute favorite, but I read the abilities a while ago, and then I probably forgot because I don't really know what I'm doing right now. But I do know that the rotation is a little bit... Oh, fuck. Why am I jumping? The rotation is really specific, and I just haven't learned it because I did learn it a year ago, and then I haven't even selected the class since. Yeah, like, look at me, bruh. I'm so focused. Holy shit. Yeah, rather than trying to figure this out right now, I'll just tell you my opinion on how the class looks and how I feel about its rotation, even though I don't really understand the rotation yet. I might throw red mage in like B tier for me because I don't really have plans to play this class anytime soon. If I do though, I might end up liking it. Now we have the first class I've ever played in this game, Paladin. I've come a far way from this class. It may be the first class I've played, but I only have this thing at level 53. I seriously just kind of got bored of this class. So I started the game tanking and I mained Paladin until level 50, which is what I have it at right now. I have it at 53. Swapped to another class for a little bit, and then I swapped to Gunbreaker, and then I mained Gunbreaker from that point on. I didn't like Paladin the most, and I did give it another try, but I feel like it's the most boring of the tanks for me so far. Then again, I only have it at level 50 and all my shit's selling right now. Aesthetically, for all the tanks, it's my least favorite as well. So this is just my personal opinion, my personal experience, even though I haven't leveled it up again. It's just one of those things where I don't really want to, and I'm gonna put it in D tier. Okay, don't ask what my blue mage outfit is. I don't know why this is it. But next we have blue mage, and there isn't really much to say about this one because you can't even use it in normal dungeons or anything, but I have unlocked a ton of different abilities for this class, which I use to cheese certain events to get a ton of rewards, and I think it's all right. I mean, you can't really use it that often, so I don't really know where to put this one. I'm just gonna drop it in like C tier, I guess. So next we have warrior, and all my friends hate this class. I personally think the aesthetic aesthetic of it is really cool. It's my favorite tank aesthetic because I like barbarians and D&D and shit like that. Gameplay loop wise though, like the rotation and everything like that, I actually do think so far it's a little bit boring. I have it at level 71. The thing that I do like about it though is that it's really hard to die when you're playing this class because of how many self heals you have on cooldown. You have 3 different abilities that heal yourself, and it's pretty good. Like one of them is on a 30-second cooldown, and if you do it right, then you can kind of use them one at a time and save them. In any game that I play, I personally like self-healing more than I like raw tankiness, so that's why when it comes to the mitigations of this class, I actually like the healing more than any other thing. And while I do like an axe, it's not actually my favorite weapon to use in fantasy games. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna throw warrior in like A tier, maybe like above summoner, because I do think it's pretty cool. Now, I have a huge dilemma with this one because I actually really like the weapon that Dark Knight uses. That's like the main thing that I use in every game. Like if you see me playing Elden Ring or the Souls series or anything that gives me the option to do this, like even Valheim, I love great swords like this. And I even glammed my sword to look like one of my favorite models. Also, I just want to mention for anybody watching, this is not my main HUD. I made it really small for content purposes. Look, this is my normal size. Anyways, I believe that the Dark Knight is supposed to be like the mage and kind of higher damaging tank class. That's also the least tanky of all the tank classes, which I think is kind of cool. I'm personally not a fan of dark magic like this though. It's kind of not my thing. It's not like too edgy for me or anything. I just don't really enjoy it that much. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it. So when it comes to the weapon that I'm holding, I love it. And if the abilities for this class were a little bit different, it would probably be my favorite tank 100% of the time. However, just because it's mainly dark magic like that, I don't really have that much interest in playing it yet. That being said, I can't rank it that low because I still think it's pretty cool, so I'm gonna put it in like B tier, maybe above Samurai. I will end up playing this class eventually. And now we got Gunbreaker, which is one of my favorite classes in the entire game. Definitely my favorite tank so far. This is the main class that I use throughout all of Shadowbringers, and I absolutely loved playing the class. I remember Continuation being really weird because it was 3 different buttons, so your main combo was just taking up half of your entire hotbar, but they did fix that, so now when I use Continuation, I only need 2 different buttons to actually do the combo instead of like 5, which I think is a lot better. Overall, I'm really familiar with the rotation of this class, so I can give like my full opinion on it. I've tanked a lot of different things with this class, and I think it's really fun. I really like the weapon that I'm using here. It's not my absolute favorite, but I do just like a sword, and the fact that there's a gun on it too is kind of cool, I guess. Not really my absolute favorite part of it, but yeah, so far it's my favorite tank in the game, and it's one of my favorite classes in general. It's also just one of the classes that I'm the most familiar with, so I'm gonna throw Gunbreaker up to S tier. I honestly might even throw it above Dragoon. I'm not sure yet. Now we have the healers, which I don't heal. I've never healed before. Like, I've done it maybe once or twice. I've never leveled a healer. It's not my favorite thing to do in games, so it's kind of one of the last things that I'm gonna do in this game. And also, look, it's nighttime now. First, we have White Mage, so I'm pretty much gonna base these all entirely on their aesthetic and how they make me feel inside. And out of all the healers, White Mage is the one that I would level up first. I like how it looks and feels more than the other ones, and that's honestly all I can really base it off of because I have all the healers at their minimum level right now pretty much. So yeah, I'll put White Mage at A tier. I don't know, I can't rank these. Now we have Scholar, and honestly I've heard nothing but kind of bad things about this class because it's like a shield healer. Maybe they made it better since I've heard a bunch of people complaining about it. I do like the fact that it's intertwined with Summoner, so that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that they like shared the exact same XP. That's kind of cool to me. I like that. Healing wise, I don't know if shields would be my favorite thing to use because I feel like I'd fuck it up and I get a lot of people killed. Maybe it's not as hard as I'm thinking it would be, but I don't know. I don't have experience with this. So I'm just gonna throw Scholar in like, I don't know, C tier, put it above these two because I feel like I'd enjoy it more than Machinist. All right, guys, bear with me. I literally just unlocked this class for this video. We have Astrologian here. Never used it. This is pretty cool though. Look at all those cards. Why does my boy look so interested in it? All I know is that you pull a card and then it does something. So like I can pull this card and then I can use it and it's like something random, I think. So that's pretty cool. I might actually end up enjoying this more more than the other healers if I give it a real chance. Again, I have not used it a single time. I just unlocked it. But rather than making a new tier for things I don't even know about, I'm just gonna guess. So I'm gonna put this in B tier and go with it. And for the final healer, we have Sage. This is the one that I think I'd play last. I don't really know what's around me right now, and I'm not in tune with the lore of these things, so yeah. This may be my highest level healer, but it's just because it has to be. I have 0 XP on this class, so I haven't killed a single enemy with it. I unlocked it when it came out, and I seriously have not touched it ever since. Honestly, I don't even know what it does, so I'm just gonna like look at what the abilities look like. So we're just doing some blind shit right now. Honestly, I don't even know what's happening. I'm just gonna press all the buttons. It's a lot of like electricity looking stuff. What is happening to my bar over here? God, I'm the worst person to make a tier list video like this. I'm just gonna guess. I'm gonna put it next to Scholar because I don't really like the aesthetic of it. And honestly, I'm gonna move Blue Mage up because it can be fun. And finally, I don't know why this is at the bottom of the list, but we have Pugilist because I don't have Monk unlocked. Monk has never really been the thing that I lean towards in games like this, and it's the same story for this game. I actually don't think I even have my abilities on my bar. What the fuck? I don't know if I'll ever level this class because I don't really level just for the hell of it. If I don't like a class, then I might not level it. I just don't like the vibe that it gives me, but I understand why somebody would. Like, it's the same with every other class. Like, everybody has their favorite class, and I'm probably shitting on half of them in this video just because I haven't even given them a real chance because I just don't like how they look. It is what it is. It's just a class that I don't really feel like leveling. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, that's gonna do it for my shitty tier list video. Leave it to the most inexperienced of players to make videos like this. In general, what this comes down to is how much do I like how the class looks? And that's how I ranked most of these. And also, that's kind of how I choose what class to play in the first place. So if I don't really like how a class looks, then I probably won't like its gameplay either. And that goes for a lot of different games that I play. So yeah, take a lot of this with a grain of salt. And with that, make sure you subscribe if you don't hate me yet, and goodbye.